Another historic indictment today as former President Donald Trump will be charged with 37 federal counts for his handling of classified documents. For the latest on what to expect, we go live out to Miami, where Scripps political correspondent Joe St. George is standing by with us. And Joe, thanks as always for being here. What would you say is the timeline looking like in Miami for the start of today's federal case against former President Trump?
Oh, good morning, Matt. I think one of the big takeaways as people get ready to head out the door this morning is that a lot of today's historic arraignment will be invisible. And what do I mean by that? This is a federal courthouse. This is not a state courthouse. Federal courthouses do not allow cameras in it. They do not allow live feeds of proceedings to occur. And there's great restrictions on cell phone use. So we're not going to have what we had in New York, which was a still photographer. We had some live images. That's just not going to be the case here. In fact, Matt, we may not even capture Mr. Trump's actual arrival in the courthouse. There's a underground parking structure here that no doubt the Secret Service will be pushing, advocating for. It is going to be very much an event where we're going to have to wait until after the hearing, until the journalists, members of the press who are inside the courtroom can come out and report what actually transpired. But to some degree, today is very procedural in nature. This is step one in what will be a very lengthy legal process for former President Donald Trump. On screen, we've given you a bit of the schedule, which is always subject to change. We expect the former president to be here before his 3 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Mountain Time arraignment. That's because typically before is when the processing happens, the fingerprinting. In a normal case, there would be a mugshot taken. We expect the former president, though, to be afforded some special treatment because of his stature. Oftentimes, a mugshot is taken so the clerk, the defendant, knows who the judge knows who the defendant is. Well, everyone knows who former President Trump is. So really, is there a point regarding a mugshot? Former President Trump will speak to the country, speak to his supporters tonight from New Jersey, 8:15 Eastern Time at 6:15 Mountain Time. Obviously, we expect him to repeat a lot of familiar lines, such as this is a political witch hunt, that he is the victim here. Obviously, that's something the special counsel disagrees with entirely. 37 counts have been filed against the former president.
Gotcha. And Joe, you had mentioned no cameras and whatnot, of course. Now, I've read that this case is expected to be followed as closely as people were watching the O.J. trial back in the 90s. So what would you say procedure-wise should we expect to see inside the courtroom today?
Well, first and foremost, again, we're going to get just the initial proceedings, right? In fact, one of the main judges here isn't going to be presiding over the initial part of this hearing. For instance, Judge Eileen Cannon, she's been randomly assigned this case, a Trump appointee. But typically for this first hearing, the arraignment, a magistrate judge comes in and does more of the procedural measures, informs the defendant about what they've been charged with, sets some parameters. It's always possible that some travel restriction could be enacted, but again, that's not expected involving former President Trump. In fact, he's still trying to assemble his legal team. There were resignations from his legal team in recent weeks. Yesterday, when he arrived in Florida, he was prepping his legal strategy, interviewing individuals who will be part of his legal team that will ultimately try to secure a not guilty verdict whenever this trial happens. I can't stress this enough, Matt. We're at the beginning of this. There's a long way to go.
Day one is today, and yeah, plenty to look forward to with this. Okay, with the latest on the start of today's historic indictment of former President Trump has been Scripps political correspondent Joe St. George. Thanks as always, Joe.